Triple dynamic drivers for under $60? Sounds like a fever dream or a marketing gimmick. Enter the Arti R1, a budget IM that promises big sound with these three dynamic drivers stuffed into each earpiece. But does more drivers mean better sound, or are we dealing with a case of quantity over quantity? In this review, I'm breaking down the design and ergonomics, how easy or stubborn they are to drive, and most importantly, the sound quality. If you're wondering whether the R1 is a hidden gem or just another Chi-Fi special, stay tuned. Oh, if you're feeling impulsive, you can pick these up from Amazon for $57 because nothing says responsible spending like another IEM you may or may not need. So I'm going to turn the box over on the back, and as you can see, you got a lot of information about the pretty much the technical specifications, and these do indeed come with three dynamic drivers. You're getting two 6mm titanium dome dynamic drivers, and you're getting one 8mm beryllium plated dynamic driver. Also, you got the total harmonic distortion, sensitivity, the cable, the impedance, the frequency response, and the cable specifications. I'm going to give you a quick unboxing and take off the sleeve. And you got a user manual. All the user manual is telling you is how to connect the earpieces to the cable. That's pretty much all it is. This is a registration form. You don't need that. So inside the foam is the earpieces, and I'm not using stock tips. These are fit the W1 right here. As you can see, the box is open. These are made specifically for IEMs. They're good. They're a good set of silicone tips. That really good rubbery, sticky, medical grade silicone, and everything else is inside of the carrying case. And I'm so glad that these have a carrying case, so I don't have to scratch up the IEMs and get all of that out of the way. So it's a pretty simple case. It's not bulletproof, but it'll get the job done at protecting your IEMs from getting scratched or scuffed up. So inside, so this is how it was when I first got the IEM. You got the cable, and you have two different sets of silicone tips. So you got your standard black ones, and you got some clear ones with a black core. If I had to guess, these are probably the small bore, and these are the medium bore. I hardly ever use the stock tips. They're just, in my opinion, they're just low quality. So I want to talk about the design of these. So at first glance, the Arti R1 looks like it was designed by someone who wanted to challenge the concept of subtlety. The faceplate features a silver, ropey, distorted square as if someone took a piece of metal, twisted it in frustration, and said, yeah, this is some art. It gives the IEMs a bold industrial aesthetic, perfect for those who like their gear to look as serious as their music collection. Now, despite the bulky appearance, these IEMs are shockingly comfortable. The shell's ergonomic design hugs the contours of my ears like they want to be there. None of that awkward pressure or weird hot spots. In fact, they're so comfortable that they've earned the rare side sleeper approved. Yeah, I have slept in these. Yes, you can lay on your side without feeling like you're pressing a rock into your skull. Now you have the medium-sized nozzles. They provide a stable fit for most ears, keeping IEMs in place whether you're headbanging, jogging, or dramatically turning your head in disbelief at bad takes on the internet. That said, if you happen to have gerbil ears, you might run into some fit issues. Small ears and larger shells don't always mix. Of course, the package wouldn't be complete without the high quality 1.2 meter cable made of 4 strands of 216 core Australian high purity copper wire encased in a specialized PVC jacket that somehow manages to be both flexible and durable. No stiff, memory-ridden nightmare here. And with the standard 0.78mm 2-pin connectors and the choice between, you can get these in a 3.5 configuration or a balanced 4.4 gold-plated plug. The R1 caters to both casual listeners and audiophiles who refuse to settle. And let's not forget, I already talked about the silicone tips. Just make sure that whenever you buy some IEMs or earbuds, you test out the silicone tips. And trust me, good seal does in fact equal better bass. So don't sleep on finding the right fit. Your ears and your music will thank you. Now the R1 is a masterclass in functional beauty, solid build, and comfortable fit, and the accessories that actually enhance the experience rather than this being an afterthought. Now, whether it sounds as good as it looks, well, that's a whole nother story, and we'll get into that in the sound quality segment, so stay tuned. So now I'm talking about the drivability. So these IEMs, they strike a rare balance between accessibility and refinement, making these effortless to power while rewarding high quality sources. So with a low impedance and a high sensitivity, they're designed to sing even with the modest amplification. A smartphone, such as the Pixel 9, or a laptop, is just fine. And you can drive them to satisfying volumes without straining, preserving their dynamic range and clarity. The bass remains punchy, the mid stay articulate, and treble avoids any brittleness, even when paired with basic devices like a standard 3.5 millimeter phone jack or a budget Bluetooth adapter. That said, the R1 scales gracefully with better gear. So plugging into a dedicated DAC or app like the EFI DAC I got here. This is the only DAC that I have that's of any importance to me. I would like to get another one, but I like this one. Also, if you get something like the Sony NW-A306, it unlocks some subtle details in a wider soundstage. The hybrid driver setup combining dynamic drivers for low end richness and balanced armatures for precise mids, highs, benefits from clear power, revealing a nuanced layer in complex tracks. Yet, these are ones they never feel needy. So whether you're streaming Spotify from a tablet or dissecting lossless files on a premium setup, you'll do this fine. You can also use this, gaming console or anything like that. But I'd like to keep it minimalist. I would probably rock this at the house and use something like just a smartphone deck while I'm out and about, just to help with portability. So overall, the drivability on the R1s is pretty decent. Now, let's talk about sound quality on these. And like I mentioned before, these do come with 3 dynamic drivers. So this isn't your average hybrid IEM. So you don't have any BAs whining about treble, no planars trying to flex on speed. There's 3 dynamic drivers per ear, all working in unison to deliver big bodied, unapologetic sound. But does it live up to the promise? So first, we're going to talk about the bass. And with 3 dynamic drivers, you'd expect the bass to be a dominant force, and you'd be exactly right. The sub bass rumbles with authority, reaching deep into the pits of your soul. Ideal for EDM bangers, hip hop, and cinematic soundscapes. Tracks like Billie Eilish's Oxycontin feels like they were their own personal earthquake built in. The mid bass is equally present, but doesn't bleed into the mids, meaning you can enjoy your boomy 808s without drowning out vocals. However, if you're looking for neutral studio monitor bass, the R1 is probably laughing at you right now. This is fun first bass, not a librarian approved frequency response. So the mid range is warm, it's full, and it's intimate. The lower mids maintain a rich, full body presence, giving instruments real weight and texture. Male vocals from Johnny Cash's deep croon to The Weeknd's sultry whispers feel lush, natural, never thin or recessed. The upper mids are smooth yet engaging, meaning female vocals, guitars, and pianos pop out without stabbing your eardrum. So whether you're listening to Fleetwood Mac's Dreams or vibing to Adele's heartbreak anthems, the R1 keeps things vivid but never harsh. The treble is crisp and it's really good. So if you're expecting that piercing, ultra detailed treble that reveals what the drummer ate for breakfast, you won't find it here. The treble is well extended, it's airy, and it's non fatiguing, but it's not a detail retrieval monster. Cymbals in jazz and rock tracks have a natural simmer rather than an artificial sizzle. And violin strings in classical pieces don't turn into laser beams directed at your skull. The tuning leans safe, meaning that simulant sensitive folks can rejoice, but those seeking ethereal, hyper analytic treble might find it a bit too relaxed. And the soundstage, imagine it's more like a club, so not an empty hall. So with an open back, what the fuck? This ain't no open back. Why the fuck I write that? The R1 creates an above average sense of space, making you feel like you're in the room with the band rather than listening through a tin can. It's not a expansive like an open back headphone, but it's far from claustrophobic. Live recordings like Eagles Hotel California breathe with air and ambience and orchestral pieces. There we go. Have enough width to separate sections naturally rather than bleeding into a sonic soup. The imaging is pinpoint precision, no GPS required. It's solid, meaning you can clearly place the instruments, the vocals, and background elements in their respective spots. If you need to pinpoint the exact moment a hi-hat enters on a jazz track, no problem. Playing FS first-person shooter games, foot dang, footsteps sound convincingly directional enough that you might actually win a round for once. So the tonality on the R1, I would say they're naturally fun and slightly warm. So it leans towards a natural warm tonality with a slight V shape. So kind of like, this, kind of like not really a big giant neon B, but more of a cursive. So it favors the rich mids and bold bass while keeping treble in check. It's not reference neutral, but who buys a triple DDIEM for neutrality? This is an IEM that wants you to enjoy your music, not analyze it like a lab experiment. So the best genres that you can use with the R1 that really shines would be EDM and hip hop. The bass hits hard, making Travis Scott, Skrillex, ooh, I ain't gonna say the K word. Tracks feel alive. Rock and metal. The distorted guitars in Metallica, Foo Fighters, and Pink Floyd feel gritty but not harsh. R&B and soul. So smooth, lush vocals in tracks from Erykah Badu, Sade, and D'Angelo. They feel intimate yet powerful. These also work with live and acoustic music. So the natural timbre and open staging make MTV unplugged sessions and jazz ensembles a pleasure to experience. So finally on the sound, it's a triple threat and it's done right. The R1 is an excitingly bold and immersive IEM that prioritizes fun over stereo protection or perfection. If you crave deep, authoritative bass, rich, natural mids, and non-fatiguing treble, it's a fantastic all-rounder. Like I said before, if you're looking for something that's analytical, you might not you might want to look elsewhere. So gonna wrap this video up by saying that the R1 have garnered some attention for their distinctive design and sound performance. And like I said, priced at only $57 on Amazon. Although sometimes I think they're originally like close to 100. These are a good option. The R1 features triple dynamic driver configuration comprising of two 6mm titanium dome drivers and one 8mm beryllium plated driver. This setup, it delivers a mild like U-shaped sound or more like a V-shape. UV, you take your pick. Um, the treble region shines a substantial sub-bass rumble, though some listeners have noted a slight bleed into the lower mids. The treble extends well, offering brightness that can occasionally verge on harshness depending on the source and the personal sensitivity. And the value proposition is unbeatable. I mean, how often are you going to spend $50 or less than 100 on some triple driver IEM? So these offer harmonious blend of design, comfort, and sound quality, and making it a viable choice for both casual listeners and audiophiles on it. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Enjoy your sound, enjoy your life. I'll see you in the next.